Playtime Season 4 is a love letter to Forge World. How do you take something as familiar as Forge World and make it look new and fresh again? I knew from the start that I wanted to take the show farther visually than I ever had before. I want Playtime Season 4 to be the best looking machinima anyone's ever seen. I'd already experimented with lighting techniques and day and night cycles, but I wanted to go one step beyond that and introduce weather. You'll see lots of different weather changes throughout the season. So let's start with an original clip. This is of course filmed on Forge World, as most of the season is. I wanted there to be snowfall in this scene, and I needed to do that in several phases. First step is adding the snowflakes. This was a really time-consuming process because I need to go through every single clip in this scene and mask out any areas that are in the foreground. The reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to have some snowflakes falling up close to the camera and then other different looking snowflakes way off in the background. So there's 2 layers of snow I've got going here. Once the snow is in place, I go in and adjust my lighting, create different tints and degrees of brightness or darkness to reflect the mood and the time of day and the weather changes that I'm trying to create. Once that's in place, I go back in and add my lens flares, camera flares, anything in the scene that's glowing, that's the last to go in. And here's what it looks like when it's all put together. As I mentioned, there's lots of different weather changes throughout Playtime Season 4. I've got sequences that take place in the rain. A very important part to this sort of sequence is making the tone of the light appropriate for the weather that's happening. So you can see I've dampened things down a little bit. I've brought out the greens and purples a little bit more. One of the most challenging sequences in the season is a brief shot of a thunderstorm that I've created. The original footage is taken from Ragnarok on Halo 4, which is of course a bright and sunny map. So the first step was to once again separate my foreground and background elements. Once I have my masks in place, I then go in and adjust the lighting on each layer till I get the look that I want. I have several fog layers that I've added in as well, so there'll be rolling fog in the background. And I've created rain, again rain in 2 layers, 1 layer in the background and 1 layer in the foreground. Once those are added in, I had to go in and create my lightning strikes. Now you notice that when the lightning flashes, the lighting changes in the foreground and the background differently. Every time the lightning strikes, the foreground will get darker and the background will get lighter, just like you'd see in a real lightning storm. And here's the final results. Not all the sequences in Playtime Season 4 are as complicated as what I've just shown you. Sometimes it's a simple matter of taking a beautiful piece of scenery and just bringing it out a little bit further. I'll add mist to a waterfall, or tweak the tone of the light to make it look like it's a different time of day, add light reflecting off metallic surfaces, anything to bring the scene visually to life and to make it look unique from every other piece of footage you've ever seen on Forge World. It also helps to give each individual scene a very specific and memorable identity. I wanted to add a little more visual flair to action sequences in Playtime Season 4. Things like debris falling off surfaces, camera shakes, light shining on elements that move past the screen quickly. Anything to help enhance the drama of the movement that's taking place on screen. Here's a sequence where you can see lots of subtle visual elements being added to the original footage in order to bring the action to life more. As you compare the original with the final footage side by side, you'll see I've added lens flares, there's added camera shakes, there's debris that flies off the tires as the cars drive past the camera. The result is a sequence that just feels far more alive and exciting than the original footage. From the beginning, I've wanted Playtime Season 4 to set a new bar for visual standards in machinima. And this has just been a brief look at the various elements I've been bringing together to make it look unlike anything you've ever seen before. Playtime Season 4 will be released this spring. Hopefully you can check it out for yourself and let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for watching.